chapters I missed, but for the most part, I have just about every character in the game now. So I'm kind of all caught up. I just gotta level them up. And I really like too. I like in the leveling system too. And once you level up that character, all those perks can be seen by all the other characters in the game, which is really nice. I need a break from Survivor. Too much chaos. Let's play some Billy. I need to play some Billy and get some practice going on his chainsaws. Okay. Loadout. Barbecue, deadlock. It's pretty much the same as before. Cubery. So when I get stunned, what do you call it? I really should pair this with Spirit Fury, to be honest with you, and then Dissolution. So sometimes survivors will drop pallets and then just fast vault over them after the stun for some reason. I'm actually going to take this one off. I will put Spirit Fury back on. Can make like an what do you call it? Pallet build. Use that with use of the, what's that hex called? I think it's a blight perk. I'm not sure though. Pretty much when you hit them and they're next to a pallet, it pretty much the entity blocks it off, so they can't even utilize it. There it is. I think that'd be a decent combination. I still have to wait out the stun effect for like what, 2 seconds, I think, but that's okay. And as per usual, we are not using any add-ons. Because I think I'm getting to the point where I could sort of consistently get to like at least 2 kills per match averagely, which really isn't too bad. I'll take it. But as per always, simple as gold. We do not leave the trial without at least 1 kill. One perk I also want to try for Billy is the spring trap. So one of his teachables is, I think it's Phantom Fear. So every time you look at every time a survivor looks at you and they're in their killer terror radius, right? They'll scream and shout, so kind of just alerting themselves to your presence. So I don't know, that sounds kind of good. I could play animatronic, but I think we'll hold off and play some Billy. Or you know what we can do? Or you know, actually, let's not do it. You can't change killer when when it brings you into a lobby. So I was gonna level all the killers that I haven't to like 15, so I can like do adepts or something. But we'll just keep it at Billy right now. Then I'm actually gonna get me some more water, so I'll be right back. Okay, so in situations like this, here's what we're gonna do. To prevent as much boredom as possible. YouTuber I haven't watched in a while, or at least listened to, Mr. Nightmare. Let's listen to some scary stories. What was the last video I watched? Ooh, that one's like 24 minutes. Wow. Increasing the video length. Nice. That's what I like to see.
Did someone take some of my candles? They're not all here. Check it out.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Okay, let me unlock that. Let me... Okay. Alright, just a little bit more. Alright, OCD's killing me. Move that over. There we go.
Brace yourself for the literal terror I'm about to share with you. I don't even know if this is the place for a story like this, but I can't think of anywhere else to talk about it, and I just need to put it out there. I've told everyone under the sun about this. My family, my neighbors, my friends, random news outlets. It's never enough. I can't really explain it, but I feel some weird obligation to inform as many people as possible about what's been happening to me. So here goes. It's November of 2019 as I'm writing this. The story goes way back. I'm talking like 7 years plus. I can't tell you the exact year off the top of my head, but let's just say 2012. It might have been 2013, but that's my best guess. I was in my mid-20s with a stable job and girlfriend who's now my fiancée. I never went to college, so I had been in the workforce for a while, and it was unlikely that my life would ever experience any drastic change. Because of that, there was no reason for me to move far away from home, so I didn't. At that age, my girlfriend and I had just moved into my childhood home that my parents so graciously passed on to me as my first house. It's an extremely old brick house that my dad had actually inherited from his parents when he was around 40, so I'd be keeping it in the family. The house itself has seen a few rounds of renovations, but you can still tell it's old. It's the brick that gives it away. There are very few brick houses in our area, so it sticks out like a sore thumb. I kind of like that though, it feels special. Speaking of our area, we live in a very woodsy neighborhood, so the houses are spaced pretty far apart. Our house is also the last lot on our street, so instead of bordering the woods on just one side, we border it on two. The woods back there is massive, and I mean massive. As a kid, my brothers and I would often go exploring in there, but no amount of aimless wandering ever got us even close to charting the whole thing. I'm sure some people would find that intimidating, but I've always enjoyed the wilderness, so it wasn't a big deal to me. Plus, I'm a guy who likes keeping to myself, always have, so being isolated in my own little corner of the earth was appealing. Anyway, my girlfriend and I had been living there for a few months when all this started happening. It was sometime in the winter. I can't remember the exact month. All I know is that there was snow on the ground. It was sometime after 8 in the morning on a Sunday, the one day a week I got to sleep in. As I was getting in my pickup truck to treat myself to a coffee like I do every Sunday morning, I noticed something odd. In the driveway, right next to my car, there was what looked like a trail of footprints in the snow. My first thought was that my girlfriend had somehow woken up before me without me hearing her, and she came out to the driveway for whatever reason. But the more I looked around, the more I realized that was impossible. The path led across my front yard and through the hole in our side yard fence, meaning the footprints had originated from somewhere in the woods. On top of that, the trail didn't lead anywhere near our house, meaning they couldn't have been created by my girlfriend. I remember standing there, confused as hell. The trail didn't lead around our house or up to any of the windows, just the driver's side door of my car. That meant someone had walked directly from the woods to my car, only to immediately turn around and walk straight back into the woods. It was bizarre. I ended up asking my girlfriend about it later that day, but she obviously wasn't responsible for it. I wish I could give you more details about that first instance, but it was so long ago that that's about as much as I remember. It must have been at least 2 winters after that when the next thing happened. I specifically remember it being 2015, because that was the year my Seahawks lost the Super Bowl to Tom Brady.
Oh my.
I woke up that morning and walked to my car. I think it was a weekday, but I'm not positive. As soon as I stepped outside, I instantly knew something was very, very wrong. There were footprints everywhere. I'm talking in the driveway, near all the windows, around the perimeter of the house. The yard was completely covered in them. I'm a pretty level-headed guy, so I'm not going to say I started panicking, but I'd be lying if I said I was completely calm in that moment. I was already late for work, so I didn't have time to inspect the prints very closely, but I didn't want to leave my girlfriend in a potentially dangerous situation. I quickly ran around the house and yard to make sure no one was lurking on the property, but that was about all I could do in the limited time I had. As I was pulling out of the driveway, I texted my girlfriend about the situation so she wouldn't freak out. I ended up leaving work early that day, mostly because the situation was stuck on my mind. By the time I got home, my girlfriend had made some shocking discoveries. As soon as I pulled up, she beckoned me into the yard and pointed at one of the trails, saying it had been bothering her all day. At first, I was confused, but then I realized what she was talking about. None of the footprints had left any shoe marks. I felt like an idiot for not picking up on it sooner. Whoever had left the footprints had been walking around in their bare feet. I was at a loss for words. Who the hell would walk around barefoot in freezing cold temperatures? My girlfriend suggested that maybe it was some kind of animal, but the prints genuinely looked like 2 human feet. We went inside and called my dad, but he said he'd never experienced anything like that in all of his years of living in that house. He told me to grab my rifle and try tracking down whoever had left the footprints. I really didn't want to, but I knew this kind of thing was my responsibility. My girlfriend wanted to call the police, but I knew that would be a waste of time.
Damn, just getting good. That's okay. Alright. We'll get back to it after. Alright. Load up into a match. Where do we want to go here? Oh my god. Gotcha, dude. Okay. Yeah, I think now all the survivors spawn in roughly the same area, so. And I don't think he was the only one in the house either. Because barbecue didn't even go off. Okay, whatever, dude. Alright. So he'll have to man. What do we got going on over here? Everybody was probably across the map then. Yikes. Wasting time, but that's okay. Yeah, okay, buddy. There you are. Stuck on everything. This map has so much bullshit. Okay, you know what? I hear you, man. I'm just gonna go after you. It's not like anybody's doing anything right now, so I'm still in the clear. Okay. Get in. Oh my goodness. There you are. Got a hit. Oh my god. Getting a chainsaw down on this map, it's possible. It's just fucking hell, man. I'm wasting enough time. Oh, she went right into that, dude. Hell yeah. Alright, well, I know that guy's dead. Oh, what are you doing, man? Okay, and you're gonna vault the window. Oh, you're just gonna keep going? Okay. Oh, good attempt, man. Good attempt. Oh my fucking god. I hate this game. Really, I'm curious where the hell are the other spiders at, man? Oh, this one. Who's doing? Nobody's doing the one all the way in the corner. Okay. Okay. Wait, what? Oh. There's the Nia. I lost her. Come back over this gen again, just in case. Okay. because I think she's second hook, or... No. Okay. Oh. Yeah, GG's. Hey, I'll take the 2K. I consider that a W. What were you guys running? Because, distortion. Yeah, that guy was a pain in the ass to find, but... Held item rarity to the next tier. Okay. Then you're running smash it to go in combination, and then... Got it. Okay. So you got a stun item build. Nice. What else you guys got here? Jake part. Yeah, you died. You died. And then what else we got? Alright. Okay, let's go back to video.
We had no evidence that a crime was committed, and I didn't think trespassing would warrant a search. I told her I'd call the police if I found something in the woods, and she agreed. Like I said before, that woods is its own world, so I told myself I'd turn back as soon as the sun started going down. I slung my rifle over my shoulder and headed out. I must have been following the trail for like 30 minutes when I noticed something really strange. Seemingly out of nowhere, the trail split into two diverging paths. I didn't know which one to follow. Hell, I didn't even know that was possible.
Oh my god.
I thought maybe whoever had left the trail had doubled back to confuse me, but then a scarier thought hit me. Was there more than one person out there? I was under the impression that I had been tracking one person this whole time. The possibility of multiple people had never even occurred to me. That was enough to shake me up, though. I wasn't fully comfortable knowing I could be outnumbered out there. I stood there a little while longer before deciding to turn around. It was getting dark anyway. As I was walking back, I couldn't help but think about those footprints. I felt like I would have noticed if two people were trying to walk in the same footprints. There's no way the person in the back could have done it without messing up at least once. And then I thought that maybe someone had walked backwards from deeper in the woods to make it look like there had been two people there the whole time. And then, obviously, there was the possibility that it was just one person who doubled back on himself. Maybe someone had been carrying another person on his back and just got tired. I really didn't know which explanation was the most disturbing. We did end up calling the police that night, but as I predicted, they told us there wasn't much they could do without definitive evidence of a crime. I told my girlfriend I was going into the woods again the next morning, but it snowed pretty heavily that night, so there were no prints to follow anymore. My girlfriend was obviously terrified, but there was literally nothing we could do. Luckily, that was the last thing that happened that winter. In fact, nothing happened for a few years after that. I would go as far as to say we had forgotten about the whole thing. A lot had happened since then. My girlfriend and I got engaged in that time frame, and we were focusing on other things. I wouldn't be writing this if the story ended there, though. What I'm about to tell you happened less than a year ago. It was just after the new year, so January of this year. One random morning, I woke up to footprints all over my property. Just like that, all the memories came flooding back. My fiancée actually broke down in our bedroom, asking me if we'd ever escaped this nightmare. I didn't know what to tell her. It was actually worse this time. There were footprints leading to my shed, and a bunch of tools were missing. God knows what else those people had done. I was furious. I called up my friend Theo, explained the situation, and asked him if he'd help me. He's a big wilderness guy, and a much more experienced hunter than I am, which is part of the reason I asked him for help. He agreed and drove over to my place a few hours later. My fiancée was worried sick, but I promised her that Theo and I would be able to handle ourselves. We dressed for the cold and geared up. knowing we might be out there for hours. The reason I wasn't worried about the darkness this time around was because Theo had this really expensive thermal scope for his AR-10, which would allow us to see in low visibility. I never spent that much money on hunting equipment, so I'd still be blind, but it was definitely comforting knowing at least one of us would be able to see. I won't sugarcoat it, I was pretty scared by the time we headed out. At first, Theo and I talked as we walked, but after 45 minutes, we were mostly silent. It's like the seriousness of the situation hit us both at the same time. I remember praying to God that I hadn't dragged Theo into some horrible situation. I'm not sure how long we walked after that, but eventually, the tracks once again split into two sets of footprints. We followed the one on the left for a few minutes, but at one point, the trail just stopped abruptly. We retraced our steps back to the split, and Theo made a comment about whoever left the tracks really didn't want to be followed. I didn't want to think about it, so we just kept following the footprints in silence. I'm not kidding you. There were at least 3 other dead ends that forced us to retrace our steps, wasting valuable daylight. I remember thinking how remarkable it was that someone could walk backwards so perfectly that a trail of footprints didn't look like it had been stepped on multiple times. I'm telling you, it wasn't normal. The one upside, which Theo pointed out to me, was the dead ends likely meant we were tracking just one person. Eventually, it started getting dark. We were really deep in the woods at that point. I didn't recognize my surroundings at all. The trail of footprints didn't diverge for a long time after that. Theo said whoever we were tracking had probably given up trying to make dead ends. Another 5 minutes or so passed, and the footprints started getting noticeably deeper. We were getting closer. At one point, another set of footprints appeared right alongside the original. Theo cursed and whispered that he had been wrong, and that we were probably tracking 2 people. The sun was basically all the way down now, so Theo was checking his scope every so often. The snow gave me some visibility, but I'll be honest, I probably would have turned around had it not been for Theo's scope. We were walking in complete silence. Out of nowhere, I felt Theo's arm reach against my chest, motioning me to stop. I looked at him, and he was looking straight ahead through his scope. I couldn't see what he was looking at, so I just kept looking at him. It looked like he was holding his breath. I had never seen him so still. After a good 20 seconds, he slowly made his way over to the nearest tree and crouched down. I followed suit, not even questioning why. He looked through his scope again, and I could see his hand begin to tremble slightly. Another 20 seconds of complete silence. I was dying of suspense, so I lightly tapped his shoulder. He lowered his rifle and silently handed it to me. I looked through the scope and had to fight back a scream. There were 4 figures huddled in the snow. At first I thought they were bears, but I quickly realized they weren't. They were human beings. 2 of them were large and hunched over, and the other 2 were smaller. The smaller ones were clinging to a nearby tree, wildly jerking their heads around. They were eating something. I couldn't make out faces or details. Thermal scopes don't give you that, but I could see enough to know they were naked. It was the most terrifying thing I have ever seen with my own 2 eyes. Eventually, the larger ones picked up the smaller ones from off the tree and placed them on their shoulders. They then began walking deeper into the woods. Theo and I sat under that tree for what felt like an hour. We didn't dare move until we were positive that there was no way those things could hear us. By the time we got back to the house, hours later, I was surprised to find my fiancée was still awake. She told me she couldn't sleep knowing I was out there, and asked what we found. I told her in as minimal detail as possible, but she was still horrified. We called the police that night, who told us they'd search the woods the first thing the next morning. Theo agreed to stay the night so the 2 of us could assist the police in their search. The next morning, the police searched the woods with our help, but called it off after a few hours due to the partly covered up footprints. My fiancé demanded that they keep searching, but they said they couldn't sanction a huge search over some missing tools. I don't blame them, but it didn't feel like closure. Theo and I knew what we saw. Winter is fast approaching, and both my fiancé and I are worried those people are going to come back again. We're seriously considering moving, but haven't been able to get the ball rolling on that. I don't really know what to think. Like I said earlier, I've told everyone I can about what's been happening to us, It's literally been going on for years. None of my neighbors have ever experienced anything like this, which doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why my house is getting targeted or what those people even want. Some of my friends think they're harmless, but other people tell me I'm in grave danger. I think I'm gonna try and seal off my yard from the woods, but I don't know what else to do besides that. Hopefully we can move out soon. Last summer, I decided to tackle a major section of the Pacific Crest Trail. I've always loved hiking, especially solo trips. My plan was simple: park my car at the end of the section, hitch a ride to the trailhead, and hike back over the course of a little more than a week and a half. It sounded straightforward enough at the time. The first few days went smoothly, about how I expected. The trail was everything I'd hoped it would be. Endless stretches of towering trees and winding paths cutting through serene landscapes. I'm in pretty good shape, so I don't have to stop very frequently when I'm hiking. I'm obviously not going to hike in the dark though, so every night I had to pitch a tent to get some shut-eye. I've always preferred to keep a low profile, especially since solo hikers can attract attention. Because of that, I'd venture a little off the trail to set up my camp each night. I figured it was better that way, minimize the chance of a stranger stumbling across my campsite. Up until the third night, everything was perfectly fine. But what I'm about to tell you is the reason why I'm taking an extended break from hiking or any kind of wilderness exploration for that matter. I woke up in the middle of the night with this odd sense that something was wrong. It was the kind of gut feeling you can't explain, but you know better than to ignore. I looked around my tent. Everything seemed normal inside, so I decided to have a look around the campsite. I drew my rifle, grabbed a flashlight, and unzipped the tent. There was no one out there. No one that I could see, at least. I returned to my tent and started checking my pack. That's when I realized my wallet was gone. At first, I thought I'd just misplaced it, maybe left it outside the tent or buried it somewhere in my gear. But after tearing through everything, it was clear someone had taken it. My personal information, cash, credit cards, all of it. How is that even possible, though? Had someone broken into my tent just to steal that one thing and leave? It was unlikely, but randomly misplacing it was very uncharacteristic.
Yeah, so this is gonna have to be the last killer game because that queue took 12 minutes. Hubris. Let's go, dude. Get fucked up, you get got, man. Yeah, another bastard over here. If you want to, that's fine. Oh, I hit the wood. Got him. Break this. I like this perk, man. I like this perk. I saw the Meg over here. Last I checked. Oh, hold on. Yeah, here we go. Alright. Never hurts to check. Never hurts to check. There she is. This one. We'll go ahead and bring her over to this one. I have no idea where the hell she went. Come on. Oh. I can make an egg. Right. Oh, let's see. I haven't seen the Kate. Hold on. We'll get some movement over here, man. Yeah, nice. There you are. Going to action, start chasing her. I'm gonna check this generator. Was gonna check the generator. It doesn't have any movement. Go back over here. Yep, here we go. Fuck that up. Still go for the chainsaw, still going for the chainsaw. Ah, shit. It's Kate. Beautiful. Oh, I did hook the gate. Yo, Mag, what's up? Wife, got it. That's fine, there's 2 people left. Where's the other guy goes? He's working on this gen. That one's been popped. Perfect. Final round. Well played, buddy. Well played. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. That's the GG's right there, buddy. Merciless Killer rated R, starring Hillbilly. Alright, so Kate was just running a perk. Got it. Ugh. Dude, I really want to keep playing Killer, man, but dude, I don't like these queue times, man. That's probably why Survivor's getting like a blood point bonus, but that's okay. You know what? Probably just gonna call it right here. Actually, GG's well played. I'll be back Monday, same time as usual, about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. That being said, my name is DJ, and I have been your captain for this evening. Arg. Have a good one, lads.